and welcome to the Created to Write podcast. Today I have the lovely Melissa Gijsbers with me. How are you, Melissa?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you.
About me. Well, I am a brand new empty nester, as my kids are now grown and flown. I have always written. I got back into creative writing though in 2011 and published my first book in 2014, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you do have a lot of books available.
Yes, I think there was 16 at last count.
Well done. Congratulations on having
Mhm.
that many available. So tell us, what do you find the hardest thing about being a writer?
For me, it's that I have so many ideas. So my brain like have if you're a knitter and you get this and you have to undo it before you can knit anything, my brain's a bit like that. So I have so many ideas swirling around that often it's like I will start writing something and then some other idea comes in, and it's almost like they have a fight in my brain. It's like, no, it's my turn now. And so it's trying to capture those ideas and actually, yeah, put them down and finish them and stuff. That for me is one of the biggest challenges that I've got.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a bit of hyperactive brain that I have
Mm,
so many ideas and not the time to write them in. So totally
yeah.
get that. Totally get that. And what's one mistake you've made that you can share so others can avoid it?
Okay. But for me, one of my biggest mistakes was trying to fit into a box.
Hmm.
So I would go and I would read lots of books on writing and attend workshops and things that would tell me what to do to write. And instead of actually helping me, it left me feeling like I couldn't write, that I wasn't good enough, that there was no point.
Hmm.
And about 3.5 years ago, I was diagnosed autistic and ADHD, which probably explains a bit of my crazy brain, but it also explained why a lot of those methods didn't work for me. So if I had my time over again, I would spend more time just working out what actually suits me and what works for me, rather than trying to do things the way the experts tell you that you should write a story.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so unique. We're all created so unique.
Mm.
And it does take a few years for us to find how and what works for us. So, did you always want to be a writer, or what made you first want to write?
Writing has just been something that I've always done. My mum's got these notebooks from when I think I was in about grade two that's full of stories that I wrote at school. When I was in high school, creative writing was my thing. I'd always be writing stories and reading books and all that sort of thing. But I was told when I was in high school that being a writer is not a career path, so kind of forget about it, do
Mm.
something else. And so life kind of got in the way, and I started studying journalism, and that was okay. But I realized pretty early on that that wasn't the kind of writing that I do. And
Mm.
then I got a job and I had kids and I started another business. And then in 2011, I was one of the single parents that Julia Gillard said, you've got to go and get a job because your youngest is turning 7. So I closed my business. And as part of that, I rediscovered creative writing as a creative outlet, just something to do just for me. And I never really got into it as I'm going to be a writer. It was more this is really fun. This is
Mm.
something that I can do.
Yeah.
And it was in 2014 when I'd joined a chapter book challenge in 2012, and I'd written this manuscript, and I was working with Julianne Wallace from Lily Pilly Publishing, and I messaged her at the start of that year, said, "Do you think that I could have a book launch for my birthday in October with this book that we're working on?" She said, "Sure, why not? Let's give it a go." And that was the start of thinking, oh, I could actually be a writer. I could actually publish these stories for other people to enjoy.
Mm. She's
Mm.
beautiful, Julianne. I've worked with her as well. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed
she's
working with
fantastic.
her. Absolutely, yes. So,
Mm.
what have you? Are you part of writing groups? Have you learned? What have you learned through being part of a writing group?
Part of it again is this everyone has their own method of writing. There is no one way to write a story.
Hmm.
And the other thing I've learned is there's no one path to publication, no one path to being a writer. So that self publishing is just as valid as traditional publishing.
Yeah.
that you can do things your own way. You don't have to follow, you don't have to try and fit in the box.
Mm-hmm.
That people like quirky, weird stories just as much as they enjoy the more mainstream stories. So
Yeah.
that, and it's great hearing other people's stories and how they've done things because it gives me confidence that my own weird, quirky journey, it works for me, and that's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll try things and they'll work, and sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
But also, like I've met some amazing people through writers groups and things like that as well, which
Mm-hmm.
is it helps me feel not quite so alone and not quite so weird because I think there has to be an aspect of being a little bit weird in order to be a writer.
We're all a little bit odd, aren't we?
Yeah,
And do you connect with your readers? What's that
I
like?
I do one. I mean, one of my favorite things that happened. I think it was last year. I had a little a mum contact me, and her daughter had dressed up as a princess for my picture book. My Princess Wears a Superhero Cape for Book Week. And I was at a market a couple of months ago and they came to the market stall. And I was so excited that I got to meet this little girl who dressed up as my character.
That's very
So
cool.
I work with a lot of teenagers and kids to inspire them to write. And a lot of them have read my books. And so it's really exciting talking to them. As well as when I do markets, I get to, there's a lot of readers who will buy one of my books and then come back the next month and to see what else I've got. So it's really
Yeah,
exciting.
very cool. So tell me, Melissa, what has been the highlight of your writing career so far?
Well, I think one was this little girl dressing up as my
Yeah,
character for Book Week. I thought write a goal unlocked.
very
I thought
cool.
that was really cool. I've also a couple of years ago got invited to a primary school to speak for their Wellbeing Day. So I got to spend a day at the school and sharing my books and my love of writing and how writing is really good for mental health. And that was just I left that school on such a high. It was like this is my thing. Yeah, this is I like this.
Yeah, that's great. Amazing. So there's a lot of wannabe writers who catch this podcast. If you could share some advice for that newbie writer, the wannabe writer, what would that be?
The first thing I would share is to first and foremost write for yourself. So you can just write a paragraph or a short story or something just to have some fun with it. Because honestly, if you're not having fun with writing, what's the point? It's all well and good to think, oh, whatever's the next trend or what's popular. But if you're not writing something that you enjoy, you're not going to go anywhere. The next thing is to write lots.
Mm.
The more that you write, it's like learning an instrument or a sport that you need to practice. Write lots, find writing prompts and writing activities that can just help you practice to find your voice and your way of doing things. Not everything is going to be there ready to be published. Not everything is going to be any good. But the more you write, the more your confidence will grow, the more you work out your own style, your own voice. You can have fun with it as well. Like I know that I like writing really silly stories, especially if I'm in a bad mood. um, but like I've got hundreds of stories that I've written that most will never see the light of day. But each of them has helped me to learn the craft and helped me to have fun with it. And the last piece of advice I would give is to read and to read widely because it's amazing what you can learn from what other people have done. And especially like if you want to write picture books, read lots of picture books. If you want to write mysteries, read mysteries and read a huge variety of them because, yeah, it's amazing what you pick up just simply by reading other people's work. Oh, and
Brilliant.
also read some really bad ones as well because that you can learn a lot from those as well.
Absolutely. And read outside of your genre as well, because you can learn
Exactly.
from that. So gain lots of knowledge from all different genres and then apply it to make yours better.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining me today. Please, if you are still watching, hit that like and subscribe button. Share this with a friend because we know that these little tips will help people in their writing journey. So thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.